Biz hammamiz bir Turki, biz hammamiz bir Turki, Turkistan'ın perzenti. Uygurlarning makoni, Şərqى Turkistan'ın kini. Ay yulduz bayrığı ba, Şərqى Turkistan'ın kini. Ay yulduz bayrığı ba, Şərqى Turkistan'ın kini. Bayrağımız kök idi, ortası da ayıba. Batırlarımız kök idi, kılıç kalkan yayba. Tağlarımız igiz idi, altın kümüs sayba. Saylarımız kən idi, tulparları tayba. Uygurlarning makoni, Şərqى Turkistan'ın kini. Ay yulduz bayrağı ba, Şərqى Turkistan'ın kini. Tekli makan şülba, buğda bağraş külba. Ay yulduz bayrağı ba, Şərqى Turkistan'ın mini. Ay yulduz bayrağı ba, Şərqى Turkistan'ın minin. Ay yulduz bayrağı ba, Şərqى Turkistan'ım minin. Şərqى Turkistan'ım minin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We, the people of East Turkestan, now like to announce the parliament and the constitution of the East Turkestan government in exile. Before we announce the parliament of Eastern Turkestan, I just want to invite DJ Magor, the president and the founder of the China E-Lobby. Please welcome DJ Magor.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to thank all of you for your willingness to accommodate my schedule this morning. Harry Truman once said, "The only thing new in the world is the history you don't know." There is no place where this is truer than in occupied East Turkestan today. For millennia, the region the communists would have the world believe is called Xinjiang was in fact an independent, strong, and prosperous nation. A major power in Central Asia, a leader in the arts, and a wealthy part of the famed Silk Road, all accurately described independent Eastern Turkestan. This strength was tested by East Turkestan's neighbors as they acceded to the nation's wholesale absorption by imperial then nationalist, and then communist China. The occupiers found that the occupied would not be cowed or silenced. 71 years ago this month, and 60 years ago this month, East Turkestan rose up and took back the independence that had been stolen from it. Unfortunately, 55 years ago last August, Mao Zedong sent the communist military into East Turkestan, and the present occupation began. The ensuing 55 years has been beyond brutal. Mosques and churches have been razed to the ground. Political prisoners have been branded as terrorists and shot. Wave upon wave of Han Chinese have been sent to East Turkestan, in many cases against their will, to erode the native majority there. Large-scale development projects ordered by the communist leadership have become economic colonies, with the majority of jobs going to the ethnic Han Chinese. Nuclear tests have killed hundreds of thousands and inflicted millions more with cancer and other maladies. The communists have even tried to erase the name East Turkestan from history in the hope that global amnesia combined with worldwide indifference would allow them to continue their occupation quietly and out of the spotlight. On September 11th, 2001, that all changed. While America licked its wounds and the people of East Turkestan loudly expressed their support and sympathy for America, Communist China saw an opportunity to smear an entire people for its own benefit. Suddenly, resistance to communism in East Turkestan, according to the communists, was tied to and part of Osama bin Laden's al-Qaeda network. Never mind that bin Laden himself has never mentioned East Turkestan once. Never mind that Communist China allowed bin Laden to use their front companies in stock markets around the world to launder drug money. Never mind that the communists signed an economic agreement with the Taliban, al-Qaeda's sponsors and hosts, the day the World Trade Center fell. And never mind that East Turkestanis throughout the world have shown themselves to be the most pro-American Muslims on the face of the earth. For this reason, today's significance goes far beyond the communist occupation of East Turkestan. In the fight against terrorism, the American people have asked, where are the Muslims who understand America, who recognize America for what it truly is? Those of us fortunate enough to know the East Turkestani people do not ask these questions. We do not have to ask them. We see these Muslims every day. We work with them. And we and I are proud to call them our friends. We also know who Communist China considers to be its friends. The economic agreements with the Taliban, the military agreements with Syria, the step-by-step involvement in every major part of Iran's nuclear weapons program. These reveal that Communist China has armed and enabled real anti-American terrorists for over a decade as, quote, some kind of check on U.S. power, unquote. Thus, East Turkestan's resistance to Communist China is in fact the exact opposite of what the communists say it is. Because in forcing Beijing to divert its energies, the East Turkestanis have limited, not enhanced, the anti-American forces of terrorism. In resisting communism, East Turkestan has not made America less safe, but it has made America more safe. As the American people learn more about how East Turkestan has suffered and how much East Turkestan loves America, the American support for your cause for freedom for East Turkestan will grow. And I will do whatever I can to spread that truth as far and as wide as possible. The people of East Turkestan are at the front lines of the Second Cold War between the United States and Communist China. They are also at the front lines of the war on terror. For all you, the people of East Turkestan, have done and continue to do, I will be personally very grateful. Thank you and God bless you. God bless the United States of America and the imprisoned people of China, and may He end the dark night of occupation and bring freedom to East Turkestan once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your support, DJ Magor. Now, I would like to ask Nuret Tantukai, the Ministry of Religion, to pray for the success of this event and for the peace for whole world.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون صدق الله العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا وأنت أكرم الأكرمين وأرحم الراحمين. Ya Rabbel Alemin, yapmış olduğumuz şu duayı kurmuş olduğumuz Doğu Türkistan hükümetimizi bütün Türklük alemine hayırlı eyle ya Rabbi. Okumuş olduğumuz Kur'an-ı Kerim'den hayır ve sevabı Doğu Türkistan'da aziz şehitlerimizin ruhlarına hediye eyledik, sen vasıl eyle ya Rabbi. Bu vesileyle yapmış olduğumuz bu toplantımızda hayırlı eyle ya Rabbi. Rabbena atina fid dünya haseneten ve fil ahireti haseneten ve qina azabennar. Rabbena ufilli ve li valideyye ve lil mü'minin yevme yekumul hisab. Ve rahmetike erhamer rahimin ve selamun alel mürselin. Velhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin.
Now, we would like to sing our national anthem, Qurtuluş yolunda sudak aktı bizning qanimiz. Our blood ran as a river for the liberty and independence for our nation. This is the title of our national anthem. And this national anthem was written by one of the well-known reformist or jadidist, Muhammad Ali Tohtacı Tevfik. But he was killed among the thousands of people by the regional government of Eastern Turkestan, the Şanlıurfa, in 1937. Now I would like to ask everybody to stand up to accompany with me to sing the national anthem of Eastern Turkestan. Kurtuluş yolunda sudak, aktı bizning kanımız, sen üçün ey yurtumuz, bolsun pida bu canımız. Sen üçün ey yurtumuz, bolsun pida bu canımız. Kan keçip hem can birip, Ahir tutuldurduk seni.
Kalbimizde kutkuzuşka
Bar idi imanımız. Yar hemden buldu bizning ümmetimiz sen üçün dünyayı sorgan idi.
Bizning ulug' ecdadımız
Yurtimiz biz yüz gözünü kan birlen pakizdik. Emdi hiç kirletmeyemiz. Çünkü Türktür namımız. Atla Cengiz Tümür dünyanı titretken idi. Kan birip nam alımız. Biz onun evladı biz. Çıktı can hem aktıkan, düşmenden aldık intikam. Çıktı can hem aktıkan, düşmenden buldu el aman. Yaşasın hiç ölmesin, parlansın istikbalimiz. Yaşasın, yüzmen yaşasın, parlansın istikbalimiz. Teşekkürler. Now we would like to sing our national song, also written by the Mantle Effendi, Topik, in 1933.
And here is the text.
Tarihten evvel biz idik. Tarihten sonra yine biz. Kalbimizde vicdanımız, bu bizning imanımız. Türk biz, ana yurtumuzning köksü biz, tuş seferi. Baş kesilse qaytmaz, baskan izidan Türk erleri. Yurtumuzning altunidir, tağı birlen taşları. Her birimiz bir arslandır, bu vatanning yaşları. Yurtumuz üçün kurbanıdır, yaşlarımızning başları. İmanı, istiqqanı, ularning yoldaşları. Ordumuz hem yurtumuz, meşhur Türktür namımız, dinimiz, imanımız, bu bizning vicdanımız. Yurtumuz Türkning yurti, biz onun kurbanımız, bayrağımız kök bayrak, oturasında ay yıldız. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite Lloyd Miller, Director of the Eastern Art from Salt Lake City, Utah, to speak.
From the time that I've known Anwar and his wife, and he's come to do concerts for us in Salt Lake City, I found him to be just the most kindest, peaceful, caring person. And I think none of these Uyghur people are anything but kind, caring, and loving. How could they be a threat to China or anyone? Actually, they could be very beneficial to China if they look at the big picture. There's a Chinese story that goes, I can't remember exactly how it goes, is Yi Chen, Confucius, Shanla, Yixiao Shan. I guess you guys may know this story. One day Confucius climbed a low hill. He looked down and he said, "The world is so big, so big." Another day he climbed a very high mountain and he looked way down and he said, "The world is so small." Hen xiao, so small. I think this perceived problem of East Turkestan's independence could be looked at from a high, more wise position as very small. In fact, it could be turned by the Chinese into benefit for them, since nowadays, if we can forget politics and we can forget religious differences, and we think about commerce, business, and money, the best way to be successful in those fields is to be friends with as many people as possible. And if one opens their hand, a bird will come or a butterfly will come and land there. If we try to grasp it, we can crush it, or it'll go away. If we have our hands both open in friendship, we can receive a lot more than we have with a fist. And I think, and I hope, the Chinese government and people, as a wise old nation, that I think we can consider them sort of like our fathers in culture and in social goods and so on, in good information. I think we can look up to them as somebody who can be our teachers, and they should be able to realize that by letting go of a fast horse rather than keeping its legs tied, this fast horse will come back and serve them to benefit everyone. And I'm hoping very much that this new Turkistan, East Turkestan Republic, will be that friend of China and the rest of the world, so that China's influence could reach all the way to the Mediterranean through all the Turkic Islamic peoples, if they can incorporate them, not politically. Let them have the top of the land, and let the Chinese have the oil underneath it. Just let them have some place to play their music and do their dances and be happy. Anyway, did I get off the subject, Anwar, or is that okay? Okay, well, thanks.
Thank you very much, Lloyd Miller. I have known Lloyd Miller, as Lloyd said, that for many years, and we expect the same type of, recognition or support from every U.S. citizens or every U.S. public. Now, before we start to announce the Parliament of the government in exile of East Turkestan, I just want to introduce our fellow government officials. The President of East Turkestan government in exile, Ahmet İgenberi.
Assalamu alaikum, hürmetlik hanımlar, efendiler, meşede otağın barlık vatandaşlar. Bugün biz Washingtondaki akbarat klubuda Şərqى Türkistan hükümetinin quruluş münasibeti hem şunun bilen birge Şərqى Türkistan hükümetinin asas kanunu şunun bilen birge parlamentinin işe kiriş münasibeti bilen bu yerda uçuruşup oturyapmiz. Men Çin dilimden Avustralya'da yaşayatkan Şərqى Türkistanlık kırindaşlarım namıdan hem şunun bilen birge çet ellerde yaşayatkan hem memleket içinde Xitay komünistleri işgaliyeti de aslı turup dünyanın adalet ve demokratiya merkezi boğan Amerika'nın paytəxti de bu bəgən tarihi bölgüç bir vakiyani alayda eslep duruvatimiz. Men sizlerini, hemminizlerini vatanimizden muşu bir tarihida bopmu 1949 yıldan keyinki 55 yıllık tarihida bizden burun ötken ecdatlarımız arzu kılan, lekin körenmegen Washingtondaki Şərqى Türkistan Milli frontunun rehberi dostumuz hem inimiz vatandaşımız ئەنۋەر يۈسۈف hem şunun okşaş bir kança kerindaşlarımızdınki tirişçallığı bilen kurulgan bu sürgündeki Şərqى Türkistan hükümetininki tentenisi bilen her kasınızlarını tebrikleymen. İnşallah biz hemimiz muşu bir mücadeleye atlandık. İnşallah bu bayrakni ahırgıça düşemeyimiz. Kolumuzdan kelgen barlık imkaniyetler bilen vatanimizden azat boğan künüge kadar bu işini tamamlaştırırız. Hemmenizlerge selamet dilerim.
Now I would like to introduce I'm Abduveli Can. This gentleman, right now, he is the Vice President of East Turkestan government in exile. Meanwhile, he is the President of the East Turkestan Immigrants Organization, a well-known organization which has been very active in terms of addressing the cause of Eastern Turkestan, freedom and independence for many decades in Turkey, Istanbul. I just want him to speak to the world right now, and so that we will proceed according to our agenda. Please welcome Abduveli Can.
Değerli muhterem hazırın. Benim konuşmam biraz Türkçe olacak. Çünkü Kazakça konuştuğumda pek şey demem ama şimdi Türkçe konuşayım. Evvela sürgündeki Doğu Türkistan hükümetinin kuruluşundan sonra ikinci kez toplanan toplantısına davetiye üzerinden Türkiye İstanbul'da Doğu Türkistan Göçmenler Derneği'ni yönetim kurulu başkanı olarak katılıyoruz ve 14 Eylül'de kurulan sürgünde Doğu Türkistan hükümetinin kurucularına önderlik yapan değerli milliyetçi, mukaddesetçi, vatanperver kardeşimiz fidakar Enver Yusuf Bey'e huzurunuzda teşekkür ederim. Bu bizim memleketimizden Doğu Türkistan'dan çıkmışımızdan bugüne kadar 50 yıl 60 yıl olmaktadır. O günden bugüne kadar özlediğimiz gaye, maksatımız sürgünde bir Doğu Türkistan hükümeti kurmaktaydı. Büyüklerimizin ve milliyetçi önderlerimizin. Fakat bu önderlerimiz maksatına ulaşamadılar. Efendim, ömür hayatı müsaade etmediler. Fakat biz sonra onların izinde, onların kurmuş olduğu Doğu Türkistan Göçmenler Derneği olsun, Doğu Türkistan bu Kurtuluş Komitesi olsun, New York'ta kurulan, bunların yöneticileri olarak yanı gönülden biz desteklemek üzere toplantıya katılıyoruz. Gıyabi de olsa her birimize birer ünvan vermiş. Bendenize Cumhurbaşkanı Mavini diye bir ünvan vermiş. Ya teşekkür ederim. Ünvan verse de, verilmese de her daim Doğu Türkistan için, dava için kendisini fidye ortada çalışan geniş arkadaşlarımıza, kardeşlerimize devamlı duacıyız ve destekçiyiz. Bu desteğimizi devam ettireceğiz. Çünkü devam ettirmezsek o zaman Doğu Türkistan Göçmenlerdir, Derneği'dir, Doğu Türkistan Kurtuluş Komitesi'dir diye bundan vazgeçmemiz lazım. Vazgeçmeyeceğimize göre biz ölünceye kadar ebedi Doğu Türkistan sürgünde kurulan hükümetini desteklemeye mecburuz, destekleyeceğiz. Kurtuluşa kadar memleketimize ne zaman İstiklal bayrağımızı dikinceye kadar devam edeceğiz ölünceye kadar. Gençlerimizin, bundan sonra gelecek nesillerimizin bu davayı elbet yürütmesini, devam ettirmesini dileğiyle hepinize saygılar sunarım efendim.
I apologize for the inconvenience for the many people, many journalists around the world or anybody who is concerned about this event, I wish we can provide the translation of the whatever that the speaker said. Because of our tight schedule, we are unable to do that. But I mean, all of the the cabinet members is going to provide the text of his speech if anybody interested in that. And so, my name is Anwar Yusuf Tūrānī. It's pronounced in Uyghur language, Anwar Yusuf Tūrānī. And I am the Prime Minister of this government, East Turkestan government in exile. Now, before I read our joint declaration to address the world why we set up the government in exile and what we want from the world, I just want to introduce Sultan Mahmud Kashgari. He is the chairman of the Parliament of East Turkestan government in exile.
Esselamu Aleyküm. Muhterem hanımefendiler, muhterem beyefendiler ve bugünkü bu basın yığını katnaşkan Şərq Türkistanlık qarindaşlarım, sürgündeki Şərq Türkistan parlamentosunun azaları, hükümet üyeleri ve diğer kıymetli basın mensupları. Biz 14. Eylül günü sürgündeki Şərq Türkistan Cumhuriyeti hükümetinin kurulganlığını bütün dünyaga tantana bilen jakaladık. Bu hükümetin kuruluşu tasaddufi ortaga çıkıp kalgan bir mesele emas idi. Bu halkımızın asaret yaşayatkan Şərq Türkistan halkının uzun yıllardan beri kütken ciddi arzusu ve talebiydi. Bu talep Amerika'da bir qancha yillardan bir faoliyat elib berayotgan Şərqى Turkistan Mìlli Azatlık Mərkəzinin prezidenti Ənvər Yusuf ve onun mücadele arkadaşlarının teşebbüsü bilen dünyadaki bir muncha memleketlerde faaliyet elib berayotgan Şərq Turkistan Mìlli Azatlık harekatına hizmet kıladigan teşkilatlarının mühim teşkilatlarının vekilleri 12 Eylül 2004'te demek Washington'a yığılıp müzakereler jarayonida biz ahir Şərq Türkistan'ın sürgündeki parlamentosu ve Şərq Türkistan sürgün hükümetini kurup çıktık. Bunu bütün Şərq Türkistan halkı, meyli memleket içinde olsun, meyli harcıda olsun, büyük hayacan bilen çok hemmisi bunu kızgın kollap kuvvetledi. Hemmisi kuşallık küçümdü. Ben bugün bu münberden ben hazır muhacir turavatkan ikinci anavetinin Türkiye'deki bütün Şərq Türkistanlık qarindaşlarımның bu hükümetinin kurulganlığı, bu hükümetinin resmi faaliyet başlaganlığı münasebeti bilen üvetken kızgın tebrikini ve salamlarını her birinizle yollayman. Biz 20 noyabr Kasım'dan başlap ikinci ketimlik bir toplantımızını, yığınımızını yana Amerika'nın başkenti Washingitunda elip bardık. Bizden bu yığınımızda sürgündeki Şərq Türkistan Cumhuriyeti hükümetinin asası kanununu tekrar közden köçürüp bunu biz en ahir karardan ötkezdik. Bu Şərqى Türkistan davası için hal kılgıç ehemmiyetki olan büyük bir tarihi vaka. Şunun olan billah, parlamento, hükümet, resmi işe düşkenliğini cakalaştığına ibaret tarihi bir karar aldık. Bugün bu yerde bizden baş minister, Taşqı İşler ministri bizden mücadelemizde köp gayret gösterken ئەنۋەر يۈسۈف تۇرانى bu vaqt sizlerge tepsili malumat verişi mümkün. Yani bu tarihi ehemmiyetlik bir yığınga Şərqى Türkistan halkının bir evladı olup katnaşkanlığım için özümni çeksiz baxtiyar hesaplayman. Hemmenlerinin bu yığınga kelip bizge kollap kuvvetligenliginler için, bizni desteklegenliginler için çin yüreğimden teşekkür etmen. Hemmenlerge hürmet ve ihtiramlarımı bildirmen.
Of course, we couldn't provide the translation all of the speech, I mean, as I said, but we prepared a joint declaration on the behalf of East Turkestan government in exile last night. We have delegations, not only the members of the cabinet of the government in exile, but the delegations of almost all of the East Turkestani organizations in the world attended and participated. Some of the representatives were unable to take a part because of some other issues, like lack of travel document, because we have many East Turkestanis right now who left our homeland, East Turkestan, in order to escape the Chinese persecution. They just keep wandering all around the world, seeking a safeguard, a sanctuary, but unable to find one. And among them, the 22 East Turkestani detainees, the 22 Uyghur detainees right now in the Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And we know that before the US government announced the world that these guys are not terrorists. After 3 years of continuous investigation, we know that they are not terrorists, but we didn't say anything until that all of the legal investigation or the procedures done. Now, we can tell the world that if the most suspicious East Turkestanis or the Uyghurs who were captured with the Taliban are not terrorists, the people of East Turkestan, the regular people of East Turkestan, the ordinary people of Turkestan are not terrorists as China labeled. The government of China labeled anybody who stand up to protect his or her basic human rights as a terrorist. Whoever speaks up to tell the truth, labeled as a terrorist. As the government of East Turkestan in exile, we tell the world that we are not terrorists. We are just a victim of the terrorist, and the terrorist is the communist China. And we have the proof of that. Whatever I said, every single word, every sentence has the proof that communist China is the terrorist, communist China is the dictator, and communist China is a threat not only for East Turkestani people, but all of the human beings. This is one of the reasons why we set up our government in exile. We set up our government in exile not only for the sake of the people of Eastern Turkestan, for the sake of the millions and billions of people all around the world. We just want to work with the international community as a nation, as an independent entity, as an independent country. We are not just declaring our independence because that's we want to be, but we were an independent nation. Our ancestors lived as an independent nation for many centuries and contribute to the world civilization. Now I would like to read our Declaration of Independence prepared by our many government officials, including President, Vice President, and the cabinet members. I mean, all of the members of the parliament. Unfortunately, not all of the members of the parliament or attend that last 2 days event because of some other issues, because lack of travel document. Some of them's visa application was denied, not granted. So, I hope you understand the nature of the difficulties we are facing with. If there's no obstacle for my fellow East Turkistanis who wants to support this government exile, at least 10,000 East Turkistanis will be present in Washington, D.C. And this press room will be full by many of them. Unfortunately, we are unable to bring them. Mainly because of that types of lackness, I mean, many issues. But still, I appreciate the opportunity, the freedom of speech granted for everybody like me, for like anybody, like any human being, granted by the United States of America. I, as the Prime Minister of East Turkestan government in exile, thank to the US government to allow us to set up our, but still, majority of the East Turkestani community are supporting us. We start with a small number of people. 2 months ago, we announced our government in the capital here. Right now, almost everybody is supporting us. Almost 85% of the East Turkestani people who live in exile supporting our government in exile. They sent their delegations, as you can see, from Istanbul, from Turkey, from many other parts. For instance, all of the East Turkestani, well-known East Turkestani organization have the delegations, the president and vice presidents here. For instance, Dr. Sultan Mahmud, the chairman of East Turkestan government in exile, he is the vice president of East Turkestan Foundation in Istanbul. Demayam Rahmet is the vice prime minister of East Turkestan government in exile. Also the minister of education. He is in the meanwhile he is the president of East Turkestan Association in Australia. Sultan Mehmet, he is the Minister of Culture of East Turkestan government in exile. He represents Uzbekistan. Currently he lives in Uzbekistan in exile. Mr. Ahmet Igenbadi, he is the President of East Turkestan government in exile. In the meanwhile, he is the founder and he was the president of East Turkestan Association in Australia before Mr. Damian Rahmet took his place. Mr. Abduvali Jan, who is sitting next to Ahmed Igambadi, is the president of East Turkestan Immigrants Association, or it's called şەرقى Doğu Turkistan Göçmenler Derneği. Next to him, Mr. Khizrbek Gayretullah, a well-known writer and freedom fighter, is the vice president of East Turkestan Immigrants Association in Istanbul. At the same time, Mr. Khizrbek Gayretullah is the vice Prime Minister of Government in Exile. Mr. Aydoğan is also the member of East Turkestan Immigrants Association in Istanbul. And I have other fellow East Turkestanis who also represent the East Turkestan Foundation or East Turkestan Association. For instance, we have the representative who is sitting at the stage right now behind you. They represent East Turkestan Culture and the Solidarity Organization, or Şərqى Türkistan Kültür ve Dayanışma Derneği in Istanbul. And his head is also present here. C. Taranci. And he's also vice president, also presents here. Kadirhan Aga also presents here. And I have many other fellow Eastern Turkestanis who are unable to attend this meeting because of some other reason. But many of the Eastern Turkestani people send their, congratulations or support to us. Before I forget something, I just want to mention that the Smile Cengiz, the spokesman of East Turkestan government in exile, and he is speaking to the media right now in Istanbul. And I just want to finish this, and then I would like to... Okay, and also there's a representative of Avrasya Turkish Associations. Avrasya Turkish Associations. Also, we have support and congratulations letter from all over the place, from Norway, from Sweden, from Germany, even from Korea, from Canada, from Saudi Arabia, even from Japan. I would like to invite Tonoko after I finish my speech. So in short right now, in 2 months in the past, after we set up our government, almost all of the existed East Turkestani organization or Uyghur organization joined us, except 2 organizations, World Uyghur Congress and the Uyghur American Associations. But we respect their opinion because they have another, strategies. We have another ways of solving our problem. We still respect their challenge. We are like a doctor, trying to diagnose which will be the best way, And I know that they also want independence from the bottom of their heart. That's exactly what they say to me, even though they say that we, promote independence. But we are working together. We work together. About 5 months ago, all of us who promote independence and autonomy, we get together. About 200 people who are here in Washington, D.C. And everybody knows about that. So I don't blame anybody right now. If they are not joined us right now, it takes time. I still respect their opinion because we are Democratic Republic of Eastern Turkestan. So let me make my appeal to the world, what we want for government in exile. Now I would like to read our statement or declaration. Launching the parliament and the constitution of the East Turkestan government in exile. 50 years ago, August 17, 1949, a plane carrying the leaders of the Republic of Eastern Turkestan crashed under mysterious circumstance. When the news reached to Beijing, Mao Zedong sent in the communist military and the occupation of the East Turkestan began. Throughout the intervening years, many have come to the aid and comfort the oppressed and tried to spread their message of pain and anguish, sold by the hope of freedom and independence for what was once a flourishing civilization. However, the communists continuously and brutally snuffed out every candle, silenced every voice, and killed any flowers of hope they could find. For years, the people of East Turkestan have wondered, does anyone hear them? Is there a voice abroad for East Turkestan? Is there any entity, a government, an authority that speak for them? That wondering, that longing has ended. East Turkestan has found its voice again. So that the international community, particularly the United States of America, help us establishing and amplifying that voice. We, the East Turkestani community in exile, established a government of the Republic of East Turkestan in exile. We strongly believe that we can bring hope again to and be a voice for the Uyghurs, Kazakhs, Kyrgyz, and Tajik, and all other oppressed people of East Turkestan suffering under communist regime. My country is known to Chinese as a Xinjiang province. That fact alone explains much of this letter's or this declaration's purpose. Certain assumptions come from calling this region Xinjiang. The most basic is that it is part of China. And from that flowed the assumption that it is native speaks Chinese and that they look like East Asians, that they come out of a Confucian tradition and so on. All of these assumptions are wrong. As the name East Turkestan implies, or as you can see, their face, the face of my people, they are not Chinese. And that the West region, in addition to that, West region has for centuries, have been the land of East Turkestan Turks, who are Muslim by faith, Caucasian by race, and whose native language is not remotely related to Chinese. Ask my fellow Eastern Turkestanis to speak. It's not Chinese. Turkic languages, but different tribes, like Uyghur tribes of Turkic, Uyghur Turkic, Kazakh Turkic, and Kyrgyz Turkic, so on. But we are one nation, but divided by our ruler, the Chinese, at this present time. East Turkestan, which had remained an independent state for many years, centuries, was invaded and conquered by the Qing Empire in 1759. During the years which followed, the native people rebelled on numerous occasions against their distant rulers. In 1864, the Turkic people successfully chased the Manchus from their motherland. Their independent state, which for most of 2 decades established diplomatic relations with the Ottoman Empire, Russia, and Great Britain. The Manchu Empire again gained control of East Turkestan in the early 1880s, declaring on November 18, 1884, that East Turkestan was China's 19th province. It was at this time that the imperial viceroy, Zhou Tang, officially gave the land its Chinese name, Xinjiang or Xinjiang. This new name means the new territory or the new dominion in Chinese. But it is not a new dominion or new boundary for us. We call it East Turkestan. The struggle of the East Turkestani people for control their land has continued in the 20th century. The 1933 Communal Rebellion led to the creation of an East Turkestan Islamic Republic. A second major uprising in 1944 was also briefly successful, leading to the creation of East Turkestan Republic, which maintained its independence until 1949, when Soviet and Chinese forces combined to crush it. Since this most recent takeover, Beijing has strengthened its occupation of my homeland. Since then, East Turkestan has become a dungeon for its people. China has been constantly violating the human rights of the East Turkestanis, arresting, torturing, and killing the innocent. Hundreds of thousands of East Turkestanis who have bravely challenged the Chinese authorities have been executed and still executing publicly. Many have fled to neighboring countries. Hundreds of thousands have been sent to labor camps. The control of East Turkestani population is enforced ruthlessly. Many thousands of families have suffered from forced sterilization, forced abortions, and economic penalties. Beijing's policy toward my country has moved beyond control toward the complete assimilations. In recent years, China has moved millions of Han Chinese into eastern Turkestan, seeking to dilute the true native populations. Those who arrive from China are given the best jobs and the best pay and the best housing, all at the expense of the millions of East Turkestanis. Beijing has attacked East Turkestani culture, including our religion. In these days, we are not allowed to have our education in our native language. It was okay about 5 years ago to have our education in our native language, Uyghur or Kazakh or Kyrgyz. But right now, it's prohibited. It's banned. It's illegal to conduct my history lesson in my native language. If I have a teacher, my history in my native language, then it's against law. it will be persecuted or punished. And this is the fact. In addition to that, our religion is banned. The Chinese law says that every citizen of China has the right to practice its religion. But it's not true. In reality, it's not true. If you go to my homeland, it's Turkistan, many mosques, in front of the many mosques, there's a sign or banner saying that anybody who is under 18 is not allowed to enter the mosque. You understand what it means. This is the situation. This is the reality. And my people doesn't have the right to go abroad. They are just captives. They are just inmates of the communist China. In short, our entire land turned into a dungeon. Whole East Turkistan became a dungeon for us. And the whole East Turkistani people, Uyghur, Kazakh, and Kyrgyz, and the Tajiks, and so on, are the captives or inmates. In addition to that, Turkistanis are forced to speak, read, write Chinese, and to dress, eat, sing, dance, and behave as if they are Chinese. Beijing claims to respect its minorities, but we who have lived under their rule know that their real policy is one of genocide. Their goal is clear. One day, there must be only Chinese in Xinjiang, so-called Xinjiang in the map. China's lack of respect for the people of my country have been equaled by its disregard for the very land of Eastern Turkestan. We have become a dumping ground for China's environmental waste. Lopnor, a region known well by our government, by your government, by anybody's government in the world, is far more than a research center. It has become a profoundly toxic site of nuclear waste. We will never know how many lives have been prematurely ended by nuclear radiation, but how many cancers have been spawned, how many children have been born with deformities, it's unknown, but we know that there are many, and many, thousands. The count of my own people is that there have been 500,000 deaths from the radiation alone. As the diplomats and the journalists of the free world tell you, Beijing doesn't want the world to know of its treatment of the East Turkestani people. They prefer to carry on their repression out of the sight of the world. It's true. As I said before, every single sentence or every single word what I say has a evidence, profound evidence. For instance, if China doesn't hide anything, how many journalists are able to travel East Turkestan or Tibet, for instance, freely, wherever they want to go, whomever they want to contact with? It's impossible. This is the profound example. Even sometimes U.S. government has a hard time gathering information about the fact in Eastern Turkestan. In the past, on many occasions, the U.S. embassies, the political bureau of U.S. embassy in Beijing contact me and ask me to provide information about the situation in our homeland. So Beijing doesn't want the world to know of its treatment of East Turkestani people. They prefer to carry on their repression out of the sight of the world. I just want to mention again. When the U.S. Embassy called me, Mr. Tūrāny, could you provide some information about that? Because we have a hard time gathering information about the fact. We tried to contact with the Chinese. I mean that local officials, government officials, or regional officials, or that the native Uyghur people or Kazakhs, to get some information about what the situation, political situation, on the unrest in your homeland, but they don't want to talk to us. They just want to talk to us. They reject us. Then we just want to, talk to the ordinary people of Eastern Turkestan, in Kashgar, in Altai, or Guljar, in Kucha somewhere. But it's impossible for us to approach them, to ask them to give us information. It's impossible. So at this time, please help us. If you gather any information about what's going on, we will be appreciated. So this is the sign that this is the best example of our activism. Not only we serve for the sake of our people, East Turkestan, Turkestanis, but we serve for the sake of the U.S. government, for the sake of the U.S. public, for the sake of the whole international community in terms of gathering information and providing information. Now, we set up our government in exile, still for the same purpose, gathering information and distributing information to educate the international community, to offer our help to resolving some most sensitive issues, most important issues, like in terms of identifying who the real terrorists are, who are behind the real terrorists are. And it is Communist China, and we have the evidence of that. Many people say that Osama bin Laden is helping, or trying to help, for East Turkestani people get their independence, or, launch war. It might be true, but I don't have any evidence. There's no sign that Osama bin Laden is trying to help us. For about 1 decade right now, ever since Osama bin Laden reappeared in Afghanistan, 1995, right? I didn't hear anything from Osama bin Laden saying that, there's somebody, a nation is crying, and orphanage nations, helpless nations, just need help. And he never mentioned anything. Of course, he mentioned the other causes, like the general cause of the Muslim people. As the best example, the cause of Palestine. But he never mentioned about us. I'm so sad about that. If somebody wants to help the oppressed nation, if somebody wants to help the oppressed Muslim people, anybody must tell something about us. I'm not saying that we need all types of support. We don't need any terroristic support, killing innocent people. But we need help to get our independence from anything, from any way, by any means, except terroristic act, killing innocent people. Even we propose many beautiful proposals to our neighbor, China. last night, I and Lloyd Miller, we just prepared something about some proposal. And Lloyd is going to present his proposal, how we can resolve this issue without any bloodshed, without any killing, without any persecution, without making, the people of China, unhappy. We don't have any problem with many ordinary Chinese citizens, as long as they give us what we want. They listen to us and they work with us. First of all, they must recognize the independence of our homeland. And then we work together. We have some group of East Turkistani people in abroad, especially, as you know, the East Turkistan, Dünya Uyghur Qurultayı, the World Uyghur Congress, for instance. They have different strategies. They want to work with anybody to bring democracy to China. And I respect that. I also do the same thing. But I do something, our government do something what the World Uyghur Congress doesn't. For instance, World Uyghur Congress doesn't promote independence, just autonomy. But I still respect their ideas or the opinion, because we are democratic Republic of East Turkestan. We respect that. But as the government in exile of Eastern Turkestan, we address the world that we want independence. We want independence. We have autonomy right now, but autonomy is only in the paper. It's fake. It doesn't work. It's just pacifier, which is put to the international community that this nation has the autonomic status. They have everything, but it's not true. As I told you, some example, right? Nobody has the right to travel. If somebody wants to get a passport, Chinese passport, it takes decades. If he is lucky, he has money, he has any way. Otherwise, there's no way somebody will go to abroad. Why? The rest of the citizens of China is granted a passport in 1 week. It shouldn't be more than 1 week. But for us, it's difficult. Like an inmate, we are not allowed anywhere. For instance, my parents wants to come to the United States to visit me. My father is 80 years old, my mom 70 years old. They are not allowed to leave the country because of what I am doing. They are not allowed to get a passport. And this is true for thousands of people, especially if somebody has relatives, sons or daughters, anybody in the US. So as the diplomats and the journalists, not only I am telling the fact, as the diplomats and the journalists of the free world tell you, Beijing doesn't want the world to know of its treatment of the Eastern Turkistani people. They prefer to carry on their repression out of sight of the world. Even when the natural disasters strike, China seeks to withhold information, fearing that aid workers will convey to Americans and others, the international community, the ongoing horrors of China's occupations. East Turkistanis seeks to determine their own future. They're distinct in every way as a people. They seek the right to select their leaders and control their fate as do other nations around the world. We turn to the free world, the international community, and the United States as the most important of those nations. The people of East Turkestan turned to the United States and international community as well. So many others seeking freedom and self-determination have done over the years. We seek that the free world and the United States raise our voice on behalf of the millions of Eastern Turkestanis whose voices are kept silent. We ask that the world, all of the free world, make clear to Beijing that human rights, including human rights of Eastern Turkestan, matter to US. What I am saying is that it's not the only thing what we want, human rights. When we talk about human rights, our self-determination or independence is our basic human rights. If you have anything and everything but your freedom, your liberty, or your independence, then we feel we don't have anything. Until today, we lost everything because we don't have the independence. We ask the international community, the United States, and the Republic of Turkey, for instance, and Great Britain, Japan, and so on, all of the international community, to press the United Nations to itself investigate, or themselves to investigate the just cause of Eastern Turkestani people, and working directly with their true representative. It is us, the East Turkestani government in exile. The East Turkestani government in exile, not the puppet appointed by the Beijing, or not with somebody who was loyal to the Beijing government. We asked the international community to continue its pressure that China truly end its nuclear test, even though it said that ended, but I don't believe that. And end its use of our region as a dumping ground for nuclear waste. We ask the international community, the United States, for instance, seek the right to visit the prison and the labor camps scattered throughout our homeland. For instance, the United States already has laws preventing the import of goods made by prison labor. Much of that labor is to be found in our homeland. The East Turkestani people ask only to control their own fate. We seek to join the international community of nations in openness and peace. We seek to share our plentiful natural resources with the people of the world. We seek to share our plentiful natural resource with the people of the world. They must not be seen as a private preserve of Beijing. We turn to the international community. We turn to the about 200 independent states, including China, especially to the United States of America, to the leaders of the Central Asian republics, Turkic republics, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Azerbaijan, and as one of the model of the Turkic people, Turkic country, we turn to the Republic of Turkey to raise the cause of Eastern Turkestan, to raise the existence of the government of Eastern Turkestan, and to contact with us, approach us to get any information in terms of writing it is law. How do we deal with China? How to deal with the rest of the world? And we must play an important role because with our such a wasteland, like presently it's seen as in the map, it's just too big. It consists of 1/6 of China's land. Our population is about 30 million. And we are totally in different nation with our culture, distinct culture and history. So we turn to the international community to help us so that we will help the international community to resolve such a complex matters anytime, because we are also the member of the international community, regardless of our current status, independence or not. We feel that we are an independent state. At least, I mean, we are trying to tell the world that what we want, how to deal with the international community. Thank you very much. And before I
Take questions.
from the media, I just want
To invite
Mr. Tonico, the professor of politics, a well-known, diplomat in Japan, and he came from all the way from Tokyo to attend this event, 3-day event. So he is with us for 3 days right now, giving his wonderful insight and opinion and the proposal in terms of how to work together. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Tonico. Please.
Good morning, friends. I'm very happy to be here and convey our congratulations to you. Congratulations on establishment of the government in exile of the Republic of the East Turkestan and enactment of the Constitution of the nation. I feel very pleased about it and wish at this opportunity to express our respect and admiration to you. We know that you have been suffering very much under brutal control of the Chinese Communist government. The name of your homeland was changed from East Turkestan to Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. You have been denied your religion, language, and culture, and we are afraid that you are drowned by repeated waves on Han immigration from mainland China. I have been a professor of international politics at Tokyo Educational College for 20 years. Now I oversee a small research office in Tokyo, where friends of mine sometimes gather to exchange information and opinion. After receiving your invitation letter for this rally, we sat together and discussed this subject. The time assigned me to speak is short, and so I will present only 3 points representing the conclusion of our discussion. 1, we have to see everything as it is and never misunderstand the situation. China is a common enemy of the people who love peace, freedom, and human rights. On looking back over its modern history, Han great nationalism destroyed ethnic minorities within Chinese territory. For example, first, where are the Manchurian people now who built the Qing dynasty? We have heard there are no more Manchurian with their own specific culture. Manchurian as a language is spoken by only a few, and the Chinese government has set up a fund to restore it. You could say Manchurians have perished. Second, Where are the Mongolian people who conquered much of the world in the 12th century and built the Yuan dynasty? The Mongolians are now one of the several ethnic minorities living in the Inner Mongolian Autonomous Region, namely in the heart of their homeland. Third, Tibetan people have stopped their long-time struggle against Han control. According to the Tibetan government in exile, located at Dharamsala, India, 1,200,000 Tibetans died as a result of the invasion and occupation by the Chinese army. His Holiness the Dalai Lama ordered a stop of hardline resistance and downgraded his request for a pure independence to a high-level autonomy. He is afraid that if his people continue fighting Han control, Tibetans as a race will be on the edge of extinction. Fourth, the ethnic minorities now being hit the hardest are the East Turkistanis, namely Uyghurs, Kazakhs, Kyrgyz, and other ethnic minorities living in the territory of the East Turkestan. They lived there for several thousand years, where Eastern and Western culture has historically met, mixed, and prospered. The power of the East Turkestan was once strong enough to give military assistance to the Chinese Tang dynasty, fighting for its survival in 8th century. However, in modern times, especially after being conquered and absorbed by the Chinese Qing dynasty and transferred to nationalist and then communist China, the situation of the East Turkistanis has worsened. As the East Turkistanis continued to hit back hard, Han-controlled Chinese government has stepped up their violence on all fronts, knowing that if they succeed in suppressing the East Turkistanis completely, they will have denied nationalism to all ethnic minorities. I have just drawn a simple bird's eye view of the destiny of the ethnic minorities in China. In short, the Manchurians are already gone. The Mongolians are drowning. Tibetans are paralyzed, and the East Turkistanis were now suffering the most. It is a concrete fact that these ethnic minorities are all running along the same course, one after another, and the end will be extinction of these peoples as a race. Needless to say that the Han Chinese Communist government is entirely responsible for this result. 2. The Chinese economy looks very successful, but we must see clearly and don't misunderstand the present situation. It is an undeniable rule that real democracy and freedom are essential for continuous economic growth. We learned this lesson in the Cold War years when the communist bloc lost the economic competition with the West and collapsed. It is common knowledge that there is neither genuine freedom nor democracy in today's China. Any Chinese citizen who try to publish a magazine criticizing the government or to organize a labor union to assert their rights as workers are subject to arrest, interrogation, torture, and imprisonment. Moreover, a court trial may be unjust, and the judgment could depend on the size of the bribe, or so we hear. There are no personal freedom to speak, publish, study, practice a religion, even move. There are no political rights to organize a political party, vote freely, run an election campaign as a candidate, participate in a discussion on a national policy, and so on. The Communist Party of China controls everyday life for 1.3 billion people, monopolizing all power in their hands. In such a country, under such a system, human beings cannot be satisfied with their life. On one side of the country is a group of men and women who enjoy wealth and power, but on the other is a much larger group consisting of many poor and powerless people who have no place to voice their dissatisfaction or call for help. This gulf between the two groups getting wider and deeper day by day, year by year, with no sign of stopping. While Chinese cities along the coast, such as Shanghai and Beijing, prosper, the number of newspaper articles reporting localized unrest has also increased. I cannot say when it will explode, but I am completely confident that the Chinese Communist regime will be toppled down by popular power sooner or later. 3. We have been working for and with the Tibetan government in exile, guided by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. However, I regret to say that the movement in Japan to aid the Tibetans has not been very successful. The Japanese are generally very sympathetic towards the Tibetan people, and we love His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Japanese Buddhist schools, humanitarian organizations, and culture groups made many donations to build schools, hospitals, and temples, but unfortunately, the movement lacks momentum. There are some reasons for this. First, Japan's historical relation with China is so long, so close, and so many-sided that we naturally pay some respect to China. It is a shared feeling among the Japanese people. Second, Japan fought a war with China more than 60 years ago as a part of World War II, and some Japanese still feel guilty about it. Third, in the last 15 years, Japanese companies have rushed into China, relocating manufacturing facilities to take advantage of cheaper labor. This phenomenon and trend is worldwide, but the Japanese economic and business sector is extremely powerful, and the government has no choice but to be influenced by it, and it is increasingly difficult to raise an anti-Chinese voice. However, recently, the Japanese public opinion has begun to be more negative towards China. Though our government and even the Emperor of Japan gave formal apologies to the Chinese government, they did not change their anti-Japanese attitude. On one hand, continuing to blame the actions of Japan while receiving $50 billion in aid from Japan on the other. In addition, the Chinese government has never told its citizens about this aid from Japan. 2 weeks ago, Chinese nuclear-powered submarines snuck into Japanese territorial sea. After it was discovered, it didn't rise to the surface, ignoring a warning from Japanese naval vessels, and escaped. Sometime after the incident, the Chinese government acknowledged that it was a Chinese submarine and explained that it had mistakenly trespassed Japanese waters and apologized formally for the offense. However, Japan never accepted this explanation. We know the Chinese government has sent many vessels around the Japanese islands collecting military information for the Chinese Navy to use if it must intercept US aircraft carriers confronting Chinese aggression in Taiwan. Also, the Chinese government is trying to drill for crude oil at the fringe of Japanese economic zone. In addition, China has several times allowed anti-Japanese activists to land on the Japanese small islands, which China insists a territorial right to it. We are also suspicious of the Chinese government continued backing of the North Korean government, which has abducted hundreds of Japanese to use for their secret operations in South Korea. Coming back to the topic of Japan's help for Tibetans, we sometimes criticize ourselves as the weakest link in the chain consisting of the Western democratic nations pressuring China to change its Tibetan policy. However, the situation is changing, and I am pleased to say that we will be able to contribute more for the people of East Turkestan. For we have now found the Chinese government to be an opponent or a potential enemy. To conclude, I want to repeat that the Communist Party and the government of China is a common enemy, not only of the ethnic minorities, but also most of the Han people and the foreign people living in the nation near to China, like we Japanese. I declare, as closing my speech, that the Chinese government and the Communist Party of China, not the Han people, are our common enemy for us to defeat. Again, I congratulate you for the establishment of the East Turkestan government in exile and the enactment of the Constitution. Let's unite firmly to pressure Communist China and rescue the oppressed people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, before we take the question from the media, I'm going to invite our Minister of Culture, Sultan Mahmud, and our fellow musician, Kamil Abbas, reject player. Sultan Mahmud is a well-known artist, well-known singer and musician throughout East Turkestan, not only in East Turkestan, but in Central Asia. Kamil Abbas, also the master musician, is a reject player. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Sultan Muhammad to present his song, his own song, Where is My Eastern Turkestan? Meaning Şərqى Turkistanım qani? And Kamil Jan is going to accompany with him. Thank you.
Sabayet kür salamını kadiseri ravanımge Kara közlü kara kakul uşul şirin vay Vay zabanımge Yetiptir bir garibi zar olup ağıştı it bırak berip halimni ayg'il mening aram vay aram canımga mening boshim aning yo'li araga her bala kelsa bakar mene braderler kaçan sudi vay kaçan sudi vay ziyanımge vay pelek çarkı üzüldü hey vay jırak saldı mini andin kaçan koşkay hudavende aningdek ey vay mehribanım ya pelek çarkı üzüldü o jırak saldı mini andim vay kaçan koşkan hudavende anidek vay anidek mehribanımge vay aning derdi praqi ülgüçe mendin vay vay ülgüçe mendin juda bulmay taralmış cismi macandek tamamı ey vay ustixonimga Veydanın praxiga iniş gelmedi rahmi Kara taşlar su buldu rahmetip ahup ganimga Ayav derdim vay derdime Biz hemmimiz bir Türki Biz hemmimiz bir Türki Turkistan'ın perzenti Uygurlarının mekanı Şərqى Türkistan'ın kini Ay yıldız bayrağıma Şərqi Türkistanım qini. Ay yıldız bayrağıma Şərqi Türkistanım qini. Bayrağımız kök idim, ortası da ayba. Batırlarımız kök idi, kılıç kalkan yayba. Tağlarımız igiz idi, altın kümüs sayba. Saylarımız kang idi, tulparları tayba. Uygurlarının makanı ay yıldız bayrağıma Şərqi Türkistanım qini. Uygurlarının makanı Şərqi Türkistanım qini. Ay yıldız bayrağıma Şərqi Türkistanım qini. Tekli makan çölba, buğda bağraş külba. Ay yıldız bayrağıma Şərqi Türkistanım mini. Ay yıldız bayrağıma Şərqi Türkistanım minim. Ay yıldız bayrağıma Şərqi Türkistanım minim. Şərqi Türkistanım minim.
Muhterem vatandaşlar, demek bugünkü bu yani yığınımız, yani press konferans, yani basın yayınımız, yani ahırlış aldıda. Ama bilimiz yani bizden dünyadaki ve hazırlık bu press room'ның içindeki yani muhbirler, yani bizge sual so'rashga bekmi taqazza olab ketib bordi. Vaqtimiz bekmi az. Shuning uchun Hanifa xonimni men bir duoga taklif qilaman, bir qisqa bir duoga. Hani ondan sonra muhbirlara belki burada zamanımız olmazsa, if we don't have any time, then we are going to respond to their questions in the lobby right now, since we have about 10 minutes, but we just want to make like maybe 2-3 minutes dua.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning for everyone. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala seyyidina Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ve ecmain. Ya Rabbi, bütün Türk dünya İslam aleminin yüzünün gülmesine Allah'ın bu adın vasıta olsun, gemi olsun ya Rabbi. Bu dualar, bu faaliyetler Türk İslam aleminin kurtuluş gemisi olsun ya Rab. Bütün dünyadaki esir milletlerin de kurtuluşu olsun ya Rabbi. Bütün dünyadaki insan aleminde acı çeken, ızdırap çeken ne kadar yaratılmış mahlukatların varsa kurtuluşu için bir ses olsun ya Rabbi. Bu gemi olsun ya Rabbi. Bitsin artık dünyanın çilesi. Bitsin artık tüm dünya insan aleminin, esir milletin bütün ağlayışları dursun Allah'ım. Bütün çileler dursun artık ya Rabbi. Türkistan'ımızda başlayan bu güzel sesin bütün dünyadaki insan aleminin kurtuluşu olsun ya Rabbi. İlticaların sahibi sensin. Güzelliklerin sahibi sensin. Bütün yaratıkların sahibi sensin. Kurtuluşu verecek olan yine sensin ya Rabbi. Biz el açtık, iltica ettik. Sen kabul eyle ya Rabbi. Bütün dünya Türk İslam aleminin birlik ve beraberliği için, Doğu Türkistan'ın ön ayak olması için, ay yıldızlı taşıyan bütün bayrakların selameti için ve bütün dünyadaki hak isteyen, adalet isteyen, sulh isteyen, barış isteyen bütün insan aleminin kurtuluşu için, İslam aleminin refahı için lillahil Fatiha. Saygılarım efendim. Selamun aleyküm.
Çok teşekkürler. Hanife Hanım, bizim Adalet Bakanımız Hanife Erbas is the Ministry of Justice of the government in exile of Eastern Turkestan. We know that we don't have much time. We just want to take as much as question, that from media, right, from this point. Yes, sir. Oh, sure. Please, would you like to use this microphone? This is for you, actually. I just turned this on.
Yes, hello? Yeah.
Okay.
First of all, how many members does your parliament have, and when and where do you expect to meet in order to put together a constitution?
We have right now 60 members of the parliament.
Do you expect to prepare a constitution?
We have already prepared our constitution. This is our constitution, and this is the flag of our homeland, and this is the national emblem, and it has the meaning. Since I'm just showing you the front of this national, that the constitution, I have to explain what it is, and that as the name of our homeland, is East Turkestan Republic. And the character of our government is the Democratic Republic of East Turkestan.
Follow up. I think there's very, very little chance that your government will be recognized by either the United States government or by any other government that has diplomatic relations with China. In view of that, what do you really expect to accomplish?
Recognition by any countries is not very important for us. There are many countries, many government in exile, or many countries not right now at the present time, which is not recognized by United States, or which is not recognized by many countries. For instance, Taiwan. Is Taiwan recognized by the United States? Not, right? But it is still defended and protected by the United States. Such other nations, like Palestine, right? Even though the many governments, including the United States, doesn't recognize the existence or doesn't recognize the government, but still this government sees that nation represents its own people. They are somebody and they always deal with them. So at least we would like to exist as the same level of the rest of, the other, countries, which is not recognized by many countries, including the United States. Look at the status of Cyprus, for instance. Is Cyprus recognized by any nation? No, except by Turkey, right? But still it exists. And at least we would like to survive, we would like to, run our government in the same status, so that international community just see us, we exist. The voice of Eastern Turkestan is alive.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Is there any question?
I'm with Voice of America.
Yes. Could you identify yourself? Are you
Stephanie Ho.
You are Voice of
America.
Okay.
I just have two questions. I was curious to know what the government in exile's relationship is with the U.S. government. I mean, you mentioned it quite a lot in your talk. And then
so far, this question is coming. I mean, the same question is coming from all around the world right now. Our relationship is pretty good. Even though the U.S. government is not officially recognized our government in exile, but so far this government is allowing us to set up this government. That's why we are voicing to the world at the National Press Club. We announced the establishment of our government in exile in the parliament or in the Capitol Hill of the U.S. government. It means that this government, the U.S. government, is allowing us to set up our government in exile. This is a great opportunity for us. All 30 million East Turkistani people who are living under the persecution and oppression, expressing their appreciation. Many people in the world right now, many exiled community in the world, they're crying and praying that this government must exist and this government must be recognized officially or unofficially. It doesn't matter for us. Somebody recognizes us or doesn't recognize us, it doesn't matter. As long as we stand up and tell the world that we exist. The people of Eastern Turkestan exist. Our aspiration, independence and freedom and democracy exist. This is very important for us.
Right. What I was curious, though, is how much cooperation are you getting? What sort of action or interaction are you having with the U.S. government in terms
U.S. government, so far, we don't get.
On the practical
What do you mean
side?
that? We don't. I mean that I have already told you that. The U.S. government is allowing us to set up our government, allowing us to set up our parliament, allowing us to writing our constitution and just telling the world that we exist.
Okay, but
this is very important for us. Right now, once the U.S. government recognizes that we share the same enemy, same threat from the same source, from same enemy, right like now, and then we are sure that U.S. government is going to help us. The U.S. public is going to help us. So we have to educate the U.S. public. We have to educate the U.S. government. In order to do that, we have to gather information and provide information, distribute information. The information is our tool. Our culture is our tool. As we present the music of Eastern Turkestan. Once the international community see us, then they will decide how this problem must be resolved. I have many friends, many Americans, many, U.S. officials right now, they're approaching in different angles. All of them has a beautiful proposal. Let's solve this issue in this way. As Lloyd Miller mentioned, let the bird just go rather than squishing. It will be good.
One more
Sure.
question, actually, that you mentioned. I was just curious to know how much contact you've had with the Chinese government. You were formed 2 months ago, and
okay.
the Chinese
Actually,
government...
we don't have any direct contact, but we have indirect contact, such as the journalists, a well-known journalist like Mr. Sheng Fu-ju, and maybe could you please stand up? And Mr. Sheng Fu-ju, he's a great journalist. I admire him a lot, and he has been divulging all of the information, and that's why he is here. That he is the. This types of, the contact we have. But a friend of mine, like Lloyd Miller, just approaching me, telling me that why don't we invite some Chinese officials? We did. We invite everybody. We invited whole world to participate in this event. We are not hesitate to contact with anybody if anybody wants to talk with us, especially government of China, or that the Chinese embassy wants to talk with us, that's fine. As long as they respect us as a human being, they see us as a somebody and one nation, one independent nation, then we talk all the time. But if somebody said, no, we don't want to talk with you, as long as you advocate independence, then we don't want to talk with them. Right now, we have many people, many pro-democracy, Han-Chinese, the dissidents here. Some of us, some of the Eastern Turkistanis are working with them. I say that nothing is wrong with them to work with them, but we have to make our message clear to our Han-Chinese friends, saying that, look, since you claim yourself as a freedom lover, then you have to recognize our independence. But if you don't recognize our independence, at this stage, we cannot work with you. This is my response. This is our response as government in exile. I mean, if somebody doesn't understand the nature of our government, or that Eastern Turkestan, we have to educate them. I don't blame the many Han-Chinese people. They don't understand us because they were indoctrinated. The history, not all the history of our homeland, but all of the history of many people, many nations has been twisted to make it work for the Beijing. So they never get any education. Even my own people, East Turkestani people in my homeland, they didn't get any true history. So we have to educate, not only we have to educate the international community, but we have to educate the people of Eastern Turkestan. We have to educate the people of China, whole China. Once everybody understands the nature of our cause, I am so confident that they realize eventually we must be an independent state. And we were an independent state. And we cannot be a happy nation without getting our independence. Thank you. Thank you very much, and I think this time is up, and I and my government officials are going to respond to all of your questions. One question, and then we'll go. Just one question, and let me go.
Ben Erkin Asya Radyosu'nun Uygur bölümünden geldim. Çünkü sualımdı ben Uygurca sormakçı. Birisi
Buyurun.
Enver Efendim'e, yani birisi Hızırbek Efendim'e cevap verişini ümit kılma. Benim birinci sualım, hükümetin Amerika'da kuruldu özünün fonksiyasını bunun deyinki kandak yürügüzüdü. Mesela hazır hükümetin da 20'deki ministerlik var. Rəsmi bir hükümetke oxşaş. Bunun fonksiyasını kandak yürügüzüdü. Nimelerge asasen. İkinci sualım Hızırbek Efendim'e hazır Kazaklar Şərqى Türkistan sürgündeki hükümetinin asaslık ortaklarının biri. Ama Xitayның hazırkı ştatı boyunca aytqanda Kazaklarның özü Şinjan Uyghur Abdunum rayonunda avtonomiylik hukuk yürgüzüp atқан milletlerinin biri. İli Kazak Abdunum oblastida. Şərqى Türkistan kelgüsüde müstakil bolğan taqdirde İli Kazak Abdunum oblastının ştatı qanda belgilenedi. Bu haqda Hızırbek Efendim'nin göz qarashında.
Men birinchi qitim menga so'ralgan savolning javobini berib o'tay. Bizning demak 20dek ministr bor. Men shu ministerning biri, prime minister olarak, başbakan olarak biz bu ministerlarni seçdikki biz tamam dunyoda mustaqil yashayotgan davlatlarda qaysi bakanlık mavjud bo'lsa, bizga ham shu lazım. Shu lazım. Ama bunun ichida bizga hozir qila oladigan, buning huddidan chiqa oladigan, ya'ni moddiy va imkonlarimizga qarata bu ishni idora qila oladigan, ya'ni ministerlarimiz bor. Bir qism ministerlarimiz bizniki masalan simbolik. Faqat simbolik qildik, ammo buningga biz yani o'zimizni kelishtirganda har jihatdan, iqtisodiy jihatdan albatta qo'limizdan kelishicha bu sürgün hukumatimizning bu ministerlarni jonlantirish, yani bir hukumat süpti bilan bir sistemlik çalışqa tilishimiz hozircha bizning eng muhim bo'lgan ministerlarimiz bor. Adalet ministeri, madaniyat ministerlarimiz, masalan ekonomik ministerimiz, masalan Aydoğan Qo'bilay, Mesela ondan başka başka maliye bakanlarımız var, Azat Mahmud'a okşaş. Yani muş karındaşlarımızdan elbette biz bunun için mühim ministerlerimiz var yani. Hazır praktikal. Bununla hazır fokusumuz ne? Bunu koyuyumuz. Kiyince yani asta kilişki başlığa vaktimizde her taraftan yardım algardıkken demek hemimiz obdan fonksiyaya düşümüz yani. Benim yani demek çoğun cevap veremem şu. Onun deken Hızır Bey abinin cevabını versin sözlerine. En deken biz mana vaktimiz uçup kaldı.
Kardeşimizin bu sorusu politik bir soru. Şundak deydi. Eğer Şarkı Türkistan azat olur ise ile otonom ovlusu Şarkı Türkistan'a katılmayı mı ya ki Kazaklar olarak Şarkı Türkistan'dan ayrı bir otonomiya mı kurmak istiyorsunuz gibi bir soru sordu. Bu zaten öteden beri Xitayların, komünistlerin bize enjekte ettiği politik bir soru. Hiçbir zaman Kazaklar ve Uygurlar tarihinde bir ayrımcılık, bölücülük olmamıştır. Biz Şarkı Türkistan'ı kurtardığımız zaman Şarkı Türkistan'ın hiçbir çakıl taşını hiç kimseye vermeyiz. Uygur olarak, Kazak olarak, Kırgız olarak bu toprağı koruyacağız. Bu toprakta mutlu, müreffeh bir Şarkı Türkistan kuracağız. Şarkı Türkistan'ın müstakil olması, Şarkı Türkistan'ın birlik içinde olması Asya'da ve dünyada barışın, huzurun teminatıdır. Bugün sizin şu sorduğunuz soruyu Çinliler de söylüyor ve yazıyorlar. Hatta diyorlar bu bölgeyi ikiye bölelim, Çungarya'yı Kazaklara verelim, Kaşgarya'yı Uygurlara verelim diyor. Bu sizin bu söylediğiniz soru tamamen bizim milli meselemize çomak sokmaktan başka bir şey değildir. Şimdi diyalogdan bahsediyor Çinliler. Eğer Çinliler diyalog diyorlar, diyalogsa işte diyalog burada. Biraz evvel ben şunu gördüm. Şu mikrofonda 45 yıllık esir milletler konuştu. Bugün biz de konuşuyoruz. One minute. Thank you.
We got another function.